Some of us get dipped in flat, some in satin, some in gloss. But every once in a while, you find someone who's iridescent. And when you do, nothing will ever compare.
The first day I met Bryce Loski, I flipped. It was those eyes. Something in those dazzling eyes. I don't know. I guess it's something about his eyes. Or maybe a smile.
What about him?
What?
You have to look at the whole landscape.
What does that mean?
A painting is more than the sum of its parts. A cow by itself is just a cow. A meadow by itself is just grass, flowers. And the sun peeking through the trees is just a beam of light. But you put them all together, and it can be magic.
I didn't really understand what he was saying until one afternoon when I was up in the sycamore tree. I was rescuing a kite. It was a long way up, higher than I'd ever been. And the higher I got, the more amazed I was by the view. I began to notice how wonderful the breeze smelled, like sunshine and wild grass. I couldn't stop breathing it in, filling my lungs with the sweetest smell I'd ever known. I could sit there for hours, just looking out at the world. Some days the sunsets would be purple and pink, and some days they were a blazing orange, setting fire to the clouds on the horizon. It was during one of those sunsets that my father's idea of the whole being greater than the sum of its parts moved from my head to my heart. Some days I would get there extra early to watch the sunrise. One morning, I was making mental notes of how the pink and orange streaks of light were cutting through the clouds.
As I walked home with the dirty dishes clanking inside my picnic basket, all I could think of was Julie. I realized Garrett was right about one thing. I had flipped. Completely.
A tree? He's planting a tree? Is it a... I didn't really need to ask. I could tell from the shape of the leaves, from the texture of the trunk. It was a sycamore tree. He looked at me with those eyes, those once again dazzling eyes, and I knew that Bryce Loski was still walking around with my first kiss. As we stood there, I realized that all these years, we never really talked. But that day we started.
And I knew we'd be talking for a long time.